Hey guys, welcome back to episode 7. These 3 episodes have been recorded in sequence because I suddenly got a burst of motivation to finish my shit. So let's do this. So the first thing we needed to fix after our first test was probably bringing this down to 0.7. I'm gonna go to 0.75 just to be clean. Alright, let's test that. We want to get some of this cockpit stuff right, and then we're going to work on integrating the ballast systems, and then I think we'll hook up the main dive systems, all the pumps and everything. Notice I'm lagging, then once it stops auto-saving, it'll go away. I should set it to not do that, because I never save anyway. Oh, and I keep forgetting to fix this. Ready? That's about right. Yeah, there's still space between them, but I don't mind very much. So I can still get to everything. I can be very dexterous with this boat. And it gives it a nice little dome. And maybe it takes a little bit, but it's worth it. It's that little details, you know? And we'll have them that do that on the roof, so we have a dome of controls. So rather than some dumb orientation, we're going to have domes. So I need to remember this right now. Switch this to constant on. It's a submarine. It's going to sit low. You need the doors to stay sealed. Alright. There's a lot of things that need to be doing, but we'll do dive systems first. So the first thing is these might need to be changed a lot. So we want to hook them all to an open. Alright, so I'm picking a color. I think I'll go with a custom color. This will be our dive system open. It'll be right here. So, a lot of pumps. But we remember what they all do, right? No, we'll figure it out. So, the first thing, so this is going to be turned on whenever we are below the water. We'll have a separate one that turns on when we're above the water. Or actually, we might just do a knot. So when we are below the water, we need these 4 pumps on. These are our air pumps, pumping air from the tanks. Alright. And then, let's see, this pump, fuel pump. Actually, that should be on another system. These, so when we dive, these turn on. Then this is our surface breathe, so that's off. This is our it's our air. Our air needs to turn on from the tanks. Let's get the knot out. So this is everything that's going to be on when we're on the surface breathing. So when we're on the surface breathing, that's most of these. So this is going to be pumping all the exhaust out. And then we're going to open the surface breathe valves here, here, and here. Then we're going to turn on these. These are our water evacuation valves. These are just getting water out of our air supply. That drains it out of all of our intakes. And then we're going to turn on our air intake pumps. These are pumping it right from the outside before it's filtered. Pump there, pump there, pump there. Pump there. 3 pumps here. Wait, no. These are bilge pumps. See, it's a bit confusing when you can't see context around you. These, what are these? Those are bilge pumps. What are these? These are also bilge pumps. Huh. Okay. So let's be on a different system. trying to see if I've got everything. Also, we need to hook up our engine starter. This will be a key button, and it'll be right here. It's pretty low, but still very accessible. Because for the next few tests, we'll be starting the engine. Not to say it'll work, but to say what it does do. It helps me decide what I'll do next, is how the engine sounds. You can tell, because you'll hear different things depending on what problems you're having. So that'll turn on those. Power, of course. Okay. Now, for now, we're going to have a push button up here that's just going to be sitting on the floor. This, or not a push button really, it's going to be a toggle. This is going to simulate dive by sealing the turning off the pumps. Do we have valves that I've forgotten about connecting? We don't have surface valves. I think we have valves here. We don't have valves that cut it off up here in the con tower because we couldn't fit them. That shouldn't be a problem. But it won't be a perfect simulation, but it's whatever. This will just turn on the other valves. This is going to alter the pumping system. So when we're not doing this, we're in breathe mode. And see how it's all hooked to a knot, so I can do something else, like is breathe mode and tanks need emptying. But at the moment, we're not too concerned about that. This goes to here. Let's spawn it in. Let's see what we see. Also, let me do something real quick. How do I turn off the quick autosave? Oops, no. I wish I could make it not autosave. Because my computer literally can't even handle it, and I don't use it for anything. I reset my world every time to reduce lag. I just get a new world to go elsewhere. I know, very limited. Okay, hop down. Alright, let's just do this. That's not bad. That's a healthy ass engine sound. There's no throttle on it. Alright, turning on. This is now in dive mode. Let's give it a, let's hook up the throttle sticks. See what happens. So, I don't know if I hooked this up. So I have the breathe valves here, but there's another valve that needs to go here. I can't believe I forgot it. This is the air consumption valves. These are to regulate the engine from eating more air than it needs. You'll find that engines can run healthily on less air. As long as you're regulating your starter, it won't hurt anything else. They'll eat as much air as you will give them, but we obviously can't give them everything, or else we would just run out immediately. So, to do the throttles, we'll have a pivot again. This is what I did for my last thing. I have a pivot sitting behind the seat, and it's gonna like right there, and then it's gonna have throttle lever. It's gonna have 3 of them. So the first one's gonna be to the side here. Then we're gonna have we'll have something else here, and then 2 right here. Actually, could shift them back and make it look a little cleaner. We might even end up having one on the other side if we can't see around it. And the other one, it wasn't a problem. but it might still need a lot of tuning. Ideally, you'll still be able to see this. See around these. Because I know I've got some low down components over here, but they rotate to face. Now everything here will be off limits, but here this key button needs to be really accessible. So for these levers, we'll have our, I think we'll do our throttle back here. This will just be 1 to 0. This is air consumption, our main thing that we control. You'll be constantly altering your air consumption during this. And this will be the one that actually makes us move this week. Clutch and reverser. And this minimum value is -1. And I'll show you how to hook up a clutch and reverser. So the first thing is an ABS, absolute value. So let's plug one of these in over here. We will be doing this one with just hard logic because it's not that complicated. So we take the absolute value of the clutch and reverser setup. This goes to our main clutch. And then, oh, we don't even have a reverse. Isn't that fancy? You realize you've absolutely screwed something up. Hold on. Okay, let's do like that. Now, it means that we might actually need to increase. I'm going to have this backwards, just to start off with, but doing nothing but reversing. So the reverse, and oh, we need to hook that up too. We'll remember to power this too, so we'll do a less than. And then a constant number 0. We'll also need 2 constant numbers. One of them is going to control the throttle position. Okay, like that. So B on this is going to be. Oh, these are, dang it, numbers. So this one will be constant 0. This one will be constant 0.2. I took this one up real fast. Constant 0.2. Each goes up here right behind the seat. Constant 0 goes to the B on here. A on here goes to the throttle on the clutch and reverser. And if it's less than 0, it engages this. Pretty simple. So now let's power some stuff. So we got those. You've got this. We have these. Oh, these are already gotten. Okay. Let's hook these up. And the main throttle for the engine. It's kind of odd how we are literally simulating the environment for our engine. We're fooling it into running in a artificial environment, per se. It's like it doesn't know it shouldn't be running, but it shouldn't. It's underwater, you know, but we're supplying everything it needs. It's like, even if it runs on the surface, it's running inside of a completely immersive setup that's managing every system through a bunch of other systems. So the thing we're going to do first is throttle up and turn the key, and we'll just see what happens. That's what I like to hear. Air consumption. The air consumption, I could leave it at 0 right now and the engine will still run. You know why? Surface breathe. If I switch over, hear it die. That's because the air consumption is 0. Turn the air consumption on, switch, and it stays running. Turn the air consumption down, hear it die. Which means it's working. It's drawing from the tanks. Now, let's see what this baby's got in her during its exit dive mode. We're just surface mode. Oh, we're floating too much. So that's our surface exhaust. Let's switch to dive exhaust. We're storing our exhaust in our tanks. None of it's coming out. No air is coming in. We're diving. Release this. Now it's coming out in huge plumes. And that's all of that stored up exhaust is gone. You see. Let's get some meters for our air and exhaust tanks. And weigh it down a little. Just enough so we can get the tail on the water, and I want to see how fast it can go. So, for a standard design, what we will do, you'll typically find that we have our air and exhaust here on the internal side. I think I'll put ours, though, up one here and here facing. And these gotta be big dials, because these are the two most important dials in the submarine. So this one, they face this way because they'll turn in over time. Alright, so this will be our air on our throttle side. This is where we will be looking the most. And then our exhaust. Oh, so our air, so you know how all of our airs fill and drain equally. Theoretically, hooking up to any of them will work. Exhaust should be about the same, maybe a little different. So we'll be doing some more testing with our exhaust, but we're just going to go baseline reading for now from a sample tank. Sorry. And then we're going to have displays, one by one displays. These are going to show our fuel over here and our compass over here. We'll hook those up in a minute. I'm just really curious to see how our plumbing is doing and how much air we're getting, how much air we're burning. And this is a very testy process. It's gonna be it can take a while to get it functioning just right. Again, I like to make sure I can see everything really easily. All my controls are here. Turn on the engines. Turn my throttle up. There, it's rolling around. So our air is still going up because we have it taking it from the roof, right? Then we switch dive mode. Now the air is draining. Ooh, what's it doing? Oh, air consumption. There it goes. Air's going down. Exhaust hasn't started going up yet. There it goes. So now we're burning our air and turning it into exhaust. It appears to be working. Now we'll switch modes again. Okay, so now let's weigh her down. Actually, how long has this video been on for? Let's see. Y'all have been here for 20 damn minutes. Let's go ahead and cut this video. We'll make another, okay? Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this useful.